Shalom Lachem Mishpachah. And once again, welcome to Kul Allahim. I am Rav Yakir Al, and we continue with our series simply entitled Amen, which is translated truth. We begin in Bereshit, which is Genesis chapter 15 in verse 6, which reads, and he, the he being referenced here is Abraham or Abraham, and he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Now think about that passage. Meditate on that passage. What does that passage teach us? Let's go to another passage. This one is in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 20. And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Yehoshaphat stood and said, hear me, O Yehudah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in Yahweh, your mighty one. So shall you be established. Believe his prophets, so shall you prosper. Now we want to take a look at Genesis 15:6, 2 Chronicles 20:20, and our focal point is the word believe. Now, what we learn are the importance of faith, belief. In Abraham's situation, all he simply did was believe in the word of the Most High, and it was counted to him for righteousness. Think about that. How do we accomplish that? When we go down to Chronicles, when it states to believe in Yahweh, now this is the same thing that Abraham already did. He believed in Yahweh. And we already know, we understand from that passage that it will be reckoned or counted to us as righteousness. So the prophet again, believe in Yahweh, your mighty one, so shall you be established. Now for those of you who are familiar with the Hebrew, when you research this passage in the Hebrew, what you'll see happening is a play on words to some degree. Because the same term translated as believe is the same term translated as established. And we're going to get into the definition of that term momentarily. But it says, to believe in Yahweh, your mighty one, so shall you be established. Believe his prophets, so shall you prosper. Now, whenever we discuss this particular passage in 2020, the question that often arises, why didn't the Creator inspire the prophet simply to say or to write, believe in Yahweh, your mighty one, so shall you be established, so shall ye prosper? Why did he incorporate believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper? So let's take a look at this term, translated as believe and established. The word is Aman. Now, the number is 539. I'm going to touch on this briefly as well, because we have some of the brothers and sisters who unfortunately allow the adversary to dictate which terms they would use that were inspired to be written in the Bible. Now, without even saying, you can see from the pronunciation and the similarity of pronunciation that this term right here is where we get our term, amen. You know, when somebody says something and you agree with, amen, brother, or after we finish our prayer, it has become customary to say, amen. In other words, what we're saying, let it be established. Okay? Or we support that, and we're going to see that in a minute. Now, number 539, the term amen, properly as it states here, coming from the Strong's, means to build up or support. Now think about that. He supported Yahweh, and it was counted to him as righteousness. Support Yahweh, your mighty one. So shall you be supported. You see? Support his prophets. So shall you prosper. So when it says to have faith or to have this belief in, it simply is saying to support. Now let's touch on the parent root of this term so we can see where that definition derives. The mem and the nun. The mem, we know, is water. And whenever we deal with parent roots, once again, we have to consider the properties of water. Likewise, the nun, the seed, and the same thing. We have to consider the properties of the seed. So when you think about water, what does water, or what is water able to do? Water is also able to lift things up. Okay? And of course the seed, when we have a seed, the seed oftentimes represents continuity. Because through a seed, a species is able to continue, be it man or beast, be it vegetation. It's able to continue. So if water meaning lifting, and the seed meaning continuity, what you have is lifting unceasingly. That's what it means to have faith. But again, how do we lift? How do we support the Most High? By obeying his word. That's how. So, for example, if the Creator says to remember the seventh day as the Sabbath day, we believe that, we have faith in that, we're going to do it. We're going to remember the seventh day as being the Sabbath day, and we're going to do what's necessary to maintain sanctity or holiness in that day. It's just that simple. So here he says this. Believe Yahweh, so shall you be established. In other words, when you support me, the support will return to you. I'm going to support you. But then he goes on to say, believe his prophets. Now what we're learning is the importance of the line of transmission when it comes to the prophets. Not every man who stands, be it behind a pulpit or a lectern or a beamer, whatever you choose to call it. Not every man who stands before the people proclaiming to be a messenger is a messenger. Only those men who support the word of Yahweh. Only those men